Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am gonna be talking just semi-quiet because I just laid Caleb down for a nap and I'm hoping that he'll sleep for a while. But I've got a basket of laundry, I've got my water. I'm ready to just sit down and chat with you guys for a bit and just kind of give a little bit more of a detailed update because I feel like I was gone for a long time and then all of a sudden I just popped back in and a lot of things have changed. And I've kind of talked about them and I kind of haven't. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Pull up a basket of laundry, grab your favorite drink, just hang out. I'm here to chat with you. So thanks for stopping by. If you're new here, my name is Kate. I am a wife to my sweet husband. His name is Zach. We've been married for almost 3 years and we got married when I was 18 and we have a little son. His name is Caleb and he is almost 2. He'll be 2 in less than a month, which is mind-boggling. And we are expecting a sweet baby girl and she's due at the end of summertime. So that's also pretty mind-boggling. By the time you're seeing this, I will already be in my 3rd and final trimester, which is just insane how fast time is going by. So can't really believe that, but it's true. I don't even really know where to start other than, hold on, I need to think about this. The Lord really knew what we needed, and He always does. That's just the moral of the story. If you are to take anything from this, I would just hope that you would take that the Lord is faithful and He cares for you and He has a plan, whether you see it or understand it or not. And He just gives what we don't deserve. He knows our needs before we even know them, and He's already working them out and fulfilling them. So I just want to start by saying that. A few months ago, we're actually coming up on a year ago actually, we moved to Pennsylvania for a little while and we were innkeepers at a bed and breakfast, and it was a really neat few months, but also a really hard few months. We loved the people that we worked with there. I miss them very much actually, and it was a really cool experience. It just was not an experience that was compatible with small children, and it was very, very difficult. I'm not trying to be over dramatic, but it was very difficult. Probably the hardest few months of our life, or at least I'll speak for myself, the hardest few months of my life. I have never worked a full-time job before. Even when I was a teenager, before Zach and I got married, I just had part-time jobs. Like, I had jobs, but they were just part-time jobs. And I had never worked a full-time job before. And I went from being a stay-at-home mom to Caleb, and that was my only job, to being a full-time employee working overtime and still trying to be a wife and a mom and a homemaker and a friend. And we had just moved several hours away from where we were living, and everything just changed. It was a really, really hard season. Caleb really took the back burner because we had no other time. Like, we had no choice, and that broke my heart. Our marriage really took a hit. Everything just got really hard for a while. I think it would have been totally different if we weren't actively raising a family and growing a family. I found out I was expecting after we had been there after 5 months, I found out that I was expecting. So we'd been there for 5 months and things were already really hard. Our living space wasn't the most ideal with small kids. It was a beautiful living space, but once again, like, it just wasn't designed for a young family. I think it was just more designed for a couple. And so all of these things kind of started adding up, and we were like, we just can't do this anymore. We were extremely, extremely unhappy. Other than the relationships that we had with the people that we worked with and saw almost every day, we had no community there. We didn't have time to go to church. We didn't have time to build a community. We didn't have a chance to. And so we were really lonely. We were being emptied really fast. And if you are being emptied, which I hope that we were being emptied in the fact that the Lord was using us, hopefully. We'll never fully understand why we were called there, but my hope is that He was able to use us during our time there. But when you're being emptied and you're pouring out so much, you have to have something that refills you. And yes, Christ refills us, of course, but that refillment also comes from friendships, community, and relationships, and iron sharpening iron. Scripture tells us that that's needed in our walk with Christ. We need people who come alongside us and lift us up, and we had none of that. So as we were being steadily emptied, we were also not being refilled, and it was just a really lonely, long season. There was joy in there, of course, but overall it was just a lonely season for us. So anyways, when I found out that I was expecting, we knew that things needed to change. And at first we were entertaining the idea of trying to stay and make things work and stay at this job and stay living there and do it as long as we possibly could. But the further along in pregnancy I got, the harder things got, and we just quickly realized that we weren't going to be able to do a good job at our job and be good stewards of it and be good stewards of of raising our kids and be good stewards of our marriage and our home and our life. It just all was not going to work together. So we started pursuing other options, and we prayed and prayed and prayed. We fasted. It was just a really good season of seeking the Lord and just waiting to see what he had for us. We looked into some options back where we were originally from, and all of those options just ran into dead ends. And as we continued to pray and seek the Lord, he started opening up new options and new possibilities in a completely new place. And his provision has just been insane. I will never be able to recount everything that he has provided for us. I will never be able to recount it. Basically, the two main things was a job for Zach that was going to pay enough to provide for our family, which we were not able to find where we used to be from, where we grew up. We weren't able to find that there. And a home that was affordable and would fit in our budget and meet our needs with a growing family. And we got here and we had no plan. We moved out west in a little U-Haul trailer, and we downsized tons and tons of things. We put so much stuff in storage, and we just left and trusted. And I'm not trying to give myself a pat on the back and say like, wow, good job, you're an amazing follower of Christ. It was really, really hard to take that leap of faith and trust that he is who he says he is, and that he knows our needs and he provides and meets those needs. But he was ready to show us. He was ready to prove to us. So we had a little house lined up. I mentioned that in one of my previous videos. Some sweet family friends that we know out here, they let us stay in an extra house that they had, and we stayed there for about 2 months. And Zach's job was also just a temporary 2-month job. So everything was going to be up in 2 months, and that was the only thing that we knew for sure. So we came out. We took a week and we drove out. We got a flat tire along the way, and Caleb threw up one day during our travels all over his car seat. It was just, it was not easy. And we made it out here, and Zach started his temporary job, and we were in our temporary home. And a month went by and we still hadn't figured anything out. No permanent roots had been grown yet, or not that we had seen, even though it was all happening under the surface, of course. And behind the scenes, the Lord was working big time. So I just started praying and just really trying to surrender to him my hopes. My hope was to stay out here. Our hope was to stay out here. We wanted to be out here. But I had to just let that go, and I was like, Lord, if you don't want this, please just give me peace in my heart and help me want what you want. And let that override all of my own feelings and help me to just more than anything want what you want. And so we just kind of started praying that, and we started just realizing like, hey, this might have just been a 2-month thing. We enjoy it while it lasted, and then let's move on to the next thing that he has for us. So we kind of started to get used to that idea, and then all of a sudden all these things just started happening, and he just started dropping things in our lap. This home that we found, there are really no homes available out here. You guys know the housing market is insane right now, whether you're renting or buying. Things are hard to find, and if you do find something, it's so expensive. You have to have a job that compensates. I just can't even fully explain how he met our needs and provided for us with this home in general. Everything worked out. We got approved to rent this little home, and the kids will be sharing a room, and it's absolutely perfect for us, and it far exceeds my expectations and what we would find. So that was a huge blessing. That worked out. We got this home, and then Zach also was offered a job with some super, super, super sweet folks, and we went from wondering what we were gonna do in 2 months when all of our temporary things would end to having a home fully established and a job fully established. And just like that, he met all of our needs, and those were just physical needs. Other than that, he has met our needs with a community. The community that he's placed around us is just insane. We came here with little to no furniture, and our church community completely furnished our entire home for us. I just can't even fully explain it. I won't be able to. I just won't be able to. But he has just far exceeded all of our expectations, all of our dreams, all of our desires. And he just knew what we needed. And we went from a season of being emptied to a season of being filled. And I say that lightly because I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying, oh, my life is perfect and everything is so easy for us all the time. No, that's not what I'm saying. We are not promised an easy life, and things have not been easy. It's been a hard 2 months. Like, it's been a yes and situation, but you're gonna have that anywhere. And what he has provided and what he's brought around us far exceeds and is so much better than what we were coming from, even despite the hard things. And that's just life. Like, sometimes I get this idea in my head that something that I'm waiting for is going to happen, it's going to solve all of my problems and everything will be fine, it's going to be perfect. And that's not the case. Life is not perfect. It will not be perfect this side of heaven. The only time that we're going to experience perfectness is in heaven. And things have been difficult. Like, there have been really hard days, and that is just life. It does not mean that he is any less faithful. It does not mean that he has lost sight of you or he has forgotten you. It does not mean that at all, because even during this time of things being really hard, he's also so showing me the blessings that he's put right in front of me, the little tiny ones and the big ones. And he's showing me how to rely on him and his strength in my times of trouble, in my times of need, and I don't have to do it in my own strength, and that is so peace-giving. That's just kind of what I'm learning. Like, there are unknowns in life, and there are things that will really shake us, and there are things that come up that we weren't expecting, and detrimental news and hardships and loss and gain and beauty and joy and peace, you know, but it's all intermixed. But at the end of the day, guys, he is faithful. He sees you in your time of need, and he cares. And just because we follow Christ does not mean that we're going to have an easy life, but it does mean that we are going to have a help in any situation that this broken world throws at us. We live in a sin-filled, broken world, and things will never be perfect this side of heaven. You're not alone. He has a plan for you, and sometimes it just takes pushing through doubt and just trusting. And I'm not coming on here and acting like I'm perfect at that, because I am so not. And there are so many times that I just kick myself and I'm like, why did I ever doubt him? Because he always comes through. I can look back at my whole life and see the times that I doubted him and I wondered why this was happening, or I wondered what was going to happen with this, and were we going to be okay with this, or were we going to have enough money here, or was this going to be okay? And I doubted him so much in the middle of it, and then he carried us through it, and I was like, Lord, I'm so sorry. Like, why do I doubt you over and over and over again? You are faithful, and you are true, and you are who you say you are, and you love me and care for me, and it's the same thing for you. That's just kind of a little update. That's kind of what happened and where we are now. I'm growing, and I'm thankful for that, and it's growth through hard things, but that's how you grow. So that's where we are. That's the update on that, and that was a really big rant. But I did just kind of want to like explain things a little bit, because it's so easy for you to follow people on social media and think that their life is perfect, and I want you guys to know that my life is not perfect, and it never will be. Whatever storm you're walking through, whatever thing you're waiting on, whatever thing is weighing heavily on your heart and you're wondering if he's gonna pull through and provide, yes, he will. And he sees you, and sometimes he provides in a way that we don't understand, in a way that we didn't necessarily want, but it's always for your best, because his love for you is so great. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up and finish folding this laundry. If you've stayed and stuck around this whole story time, thanks. And I'm so thankful for you guys, and I just pray that you guys would get something out of it, and that you would see him through my channel. His love for you is great, and it's deep, and yeah. Remember that you were fully loved and fully known by your creator, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.